radio business is expected to accelerate its top line and bottom line. Overall, it has been a very encouraging quarter, and we remain committed to delivering high-quality content and engaging experiences through our print publications, ensuring that our readers continue to find value in Dainik Bhaskar. Moving on to our digital business, our monthly active users are more than 13 million in August 2023, and Dainik Bhaskar is the digital leader with the number one Hindi and Gujarati news apps. Coming to the radio business, revenue grew 6% YOY at rupees 359 million versus rupees 338 million, while EBITDA grew by 2% YOY to rupees 108 million versus rupees 106 million. Radio segment has delivered industry's best EBITDA margin, which are sustainable with government-led radio business initiative allowing news and increase of DAP rates. My FM has been relentless in its efforts to connect with the audience and enhance listener engagement through groundbreaking content creation. We will continue to fuel these efforts to help our omni-channel presence grow. With this, I would now request Mr. Girish Agarwal to update us on the operations. Over to you, Girish.
Thank you, Pawan, and good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this call. We are pleased to conclude the first half of fiscal 2024, continuing our streak of bettering our performance. The print media segment has, over the past few quarters, cemented its place as the most trusted source of news. This positioning has helped create a virtuous cycle as advertisers continue to come to print and increase their sales and thereby increase their ad spends with us. Traditional advertisers such as education, real estate, government, jewelry, health, they all continue to use print as their preferred medium. The auto sector is also seeing the increasing ad spends, and we see a lot of headroom for future growth here. As we've been highlighting, new age digital sectors continue to see value in print media, and in this quarter also, digital app-based companies and startups continued their print preference. As the leader in the print segment, Dainik Bhaskar has been outperforming the sector over the past 2 years, and our teams continue to work hard to extend their performance. And I would like to take a minute more on our teams. I must say, all the 9,000 odd people working with us, they've been really doing their best, and which is very evident from our leadership, from our appreciation of the content, from our advertising, production, circulation, IT, finance, every possible department. So I just want to do a special mention of the great work done by our team. And lastly, on the cost front, we have been benefiting from the downward trend of newsprint prices. We are also rolling out certain initiatives that we believe will help our operating efficiencies furthermore in the long run. And this is all from our side to start with, and me and my colleagues would now be very happy to respond to your queries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. An operator will take your name and announce your turn in the question queue. Participants are requested to only use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have our first question from the line of Riya Mehta from Equitas Investments. Please go ahead.
Congratulations on good set of numbers. So my first question is in regards with the advertisement. So I'm aware that coming forward in November, December, we have 3 major state elections coming. So what is the model code of conduct for state election, and why, when are they not allowed to advertise? And similarly for center elections, from when will that model code of conduct start?
So the model code of conduct in all the 3 states of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan already is in operation right now. And the reason why government does it, the election commission does it, for simple, so that no government should be able to influence any voter by offering them any kind of advantage or the promises, or luring them away with the advertising. So I think that's the prime reason. However said and done, I think whatever governments of these 3 states did in last many years, especially last 1 year, offering the benefits to the consumer, to the millions of people, I think that increased the disposable income in the market, and that is very much evident in our results also, because more people have extra money, they go and spend out, advertisers feel happy about it, they sell their product, their advertisement.
Right. But just from these three states, how much is the impact on the advertisement with the absence of these major three states?
Sorry, I couldn't get your question right.
With the absence of government advertisement from these three states for a period of, say, 1 month or so, what would be the kind of impact? And what duration is it not allowed?
Is it around, I think it's around 40 days, 30 days overall. I won't know the impact right now to give it to you exact number, but the impact is not very substantial because government itself is around 10-14% of the total category for us.
The state government or total government? Sorry?
Yeah, all put together, state and the central.
Okay. And for center, when the Model Code of Conduct will start and for how long?
I think same 40-45 days before the election date.
Okay. Coming forward to auto numbers, I read in your presentation that we are seeing good auto numbers and you are very bullish on the growth going forward. So where the guidance festive demand might have started, so how is it so far for auto advertising?
So I tell you, auto, as you remember, because last 2-3 years they had a major issue in the chip and the availability of vehicles, so they were not advertising. Now they've started advertising, so we are seeing a good growth coming from there. Especially one thing you'll have to remember, in the Q2, last year was a few days of Navratra. This year the Navratra is not in the Q2, it's in Q3. So because of that, there's some shifting advertising here and there, but doesn't make much of a difference.
Got it. And in terms of, so what are the kind of yields right now and advertising? Do we see any scope of yields growing? And the second question would be, what is the ad to edit ratio currently?
So you may be aware that in the newsprint newspaper business, the ad to edit ratio generally varies from 70-30, 67-33. But this is all under control for simple reason because we can increase number of pages if then the ads are more. We are unlike radio or television. So edited ratio is not a big concern for us. That's number one.
Okay.
And the way market looks like, things looking good also going forward.
Do we see any scope of increasing?
If you don't mind my saying, you are on the fifth question already. So
sorry.
Come back
I'll get back in the
can take the other one. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1 on your phone now. We have a next question from the Lara Asset. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, sir. Congratulations on good set of numbers. So my question is on margin sustainability, sir. So we clocked really good margin.
So sir, we are right now at a 28% margin in this quarter. And as I mentioned to you earlier also that the entire team, 8,000-10,000 people are working towards it, that we should be able to sustain this kind of margin. Maybe a couple of percentage up and down.
Okay. As coming to the newsprint, so how are they shaping up? Can we further see drop in the newsprint prices?
So frankly speaking, our newsprint prices, if you see the numbers, has already come down considerably overall. From, if you see the last year, the same quarter was 63,500, which has come down to some 51,500 now. In Q3, I don't expect much of the newsprint prices coming down because of the Diwali season. We are using much better newsprint quality for the advertisements also. So I don't see them because the newsprint mix will change in this quarter. We'll use more of an important and high quality one. But going forward, I believe another 5%, 6%, 4% advantage should happen with us.
Great, sir. So coming to the digital side, so what is the contribution of digital revenue to our total revenue? And how is it shaped for next 2 to 3 years? And are we looking to do any acquisitions or something?
So let me first of all start with your acquisition question. As of now, company has no plan to do any acquisition business because we already are on a particular path and we are committed to that and we are working towards it and we are seeing a good result coming out of that. And as far as the revenue is concerned, right now the size is too small and maybe in next couple
Will you be able to sustain this?
into the government of India.
Okay. Thank you and all the best.
We have a next there from O3 PMS. Please go ahead.
I had a question on the 4.2% subscription growth. Okay, can you give some idea of how much is value and volume, and is it
largely value? Because if you see our cover price has been increasing, circulation has been steady at 42 lakh copies roughly, and cover price has increased. So I think that is the impact on that.
And we have seen the price of paper come off and the profitability improve. Would have and the newer geographies, or you think that is secondary currently? How are you thinking strategically?
Yeah. So we have no plan to get into a new geography. The markets where we are present, the 12 states, I think we have enough scope in these markets only to further grow more copies, which we are working on towards it. And we also don't want to increase the cover price going forward because we are already almost at average cover price of 4.86 rupees. I think that's a decent size. We don't want to take it more as a pinch to the pocket of the readers. So our focus would be to maintain this cover price and grow the circulation in these markets itself.
And one last question: the radio ad revenue fell more. They're still doing it a lower value terms versus the newsprint. Okay. Any specific reason, and how far away can the radio be, or is from what the potential is?
So the radio's growth is largely driven by innovations, activations, non-airtime business improvement, as well as a yield improvement. And we are, we are working very closely with our advertisers to drive better value to them by better programming. And that's the way for radio's growth. It has to grow on innovation. As you rightly said, it has no scope for adding more inventory. And for the last several quarters, we've been growing basically from our innovations and our improvement in a little bit of improvement in our yields as well.
So my question was basically both newsprint and radio are much more local. Okay, content of local is pretty high. Okay, so should not radio be also going at a much faster pace, like we see 12% type of growth in?
No. Sir, what happened in a radio? In a radio, there is a limitation of the inventory because they can't increase number of pages. For example, if you see my number of pages, last year in the same quarter I was at 20 pages, while this quarter I am at almost 21.7 pages. So I've increased almost 8-9% number of pages for accommodating more advertising. Now radio can't do that because they have a limited 60 minutes, and they can only run 20-25 minutes of advertising in that. They can't take it 35 minutes. So they have to grow through the yield and the innovation.
So are the occupancy full for the radio? Whatever we could get?
Yes. All the prime time for all the radio channels are already done. They are all running full.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks. And yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck for future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We have a next question from the line of Pritesh Chheda from Lucky Investments. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have two questions. One, in your press release, you mentioned this 51,500 newsprint price. So this price has flowed in your quarter two numbers completely, or there is a lead lag there?
No, sir. This is the quarter two price. Quarter two price.
Okay.
And quarter three would be almost similar, and quarter four maybe we'll see a further going down.
Okay. So as of now, for the full quarter, you had this particular price flowing in.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My second question is, sir, it's been a couple of quarters for which we are having a fairly strong double-digit ad growth. What kind of outlook do you see over the next 2 to 4 quarters would be helpful?
So frankly speaking, we believe that this kind of percentage growth should continue because it may take a little bit of dent because of the code of conduct, because government advertising has come to standstill, for this 40 days, and then again in the general election it may happen. But otherwise, other categories are doing decent. Real estate, education, they all are doing decent. So idea is that the market keep to be so buoyant, and we need to ensure that advertiser comes to us.
Okay.
So it's not a given situation where we simply say, relax, team can, start relaxing and saying that 10%, 12% growth is given. Nothing is given. We need to really fight for every percentage.
Okay. And any swing in market shares do you think would have happened?
For sure. Because you will appreciate this kind of growth has not come in the market. So market is not growing at 10, 12%. Market may be growing at single digit. So this certainly involves a lot of swing in terms of market share, in terms of value and everything in our favor.
Okay. And so my last question is, in your key, advertising sectors or customer sectors, if you could give the top 3 and the contribution to the ad pie.
So, sir, if I look at the H1, which will give you a more robust picture, government has grown much bigger because last year, if you remember, we were not getting the government advertising. So this year we are getting it. So the percentage growth is much higher. But in terms of contribution, they are at, they're still higher because of that thing.
14%.
Response is, slightly higher actually. Response is one category which has grown decently. Education has grown, again in almost 10%. Real estate is slightly flat from last 1.5, 2 months because of the election. So no much of thing happening there. Automobile has grown in a single digit. Healthcare has grown in double digit. FMCG is one category which has slowed down, which is we see a decline of 10% in the FMCG category. And jewelry is again 5% growth. So this is the various segments which are some of them are growing, some of them are not growing that well.
So barring government, all of these categories would be 5-7% contribution to the ad revenue?
No. So our response category is in double digit. Education is in double digit. And real estate is also touching the double digit.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Sakshi Chhabra from Swan Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Congratulations on a great set of numbers. So I wanted to understand that this ad rate increase that has happened on the base rate for the radio segment. So what is the kind of impact that we can see on our ad revenues because of this?
So our radio revenue, government revenue is a high single digit in our total revenues. And as of now, we haven't received exact rates, but we should get anything about a 43% improvement in our overall rates. So if the volume holds the same, that revenue should increase by about 40-45%.
No, but your government contribution you said is high single digit, but this 43%.
No.
About 9-10%.
So for example, if 9% is the overall government advertising,
Right.
and government decides to increase it by 40%, so there'll be a 4.5%, 4% growth coming because of the government advertising, provided we keep the volume same.
Correct. So 4 to 5% is the kind of revenue growth that you will see because of this.
Possibly if they keep the volume same, because if tomorrow they start trickling with the volume, then may come down.
And we are yet to receive the final rates from the government for us. Once we get that, we'll be in a better position to estimate.
Okay.
It could be even higher.
And in terms of the non-government side, is there, do you see that, any increase in yields that you can take on this radio ad revenue side?
We are doing our best with a mix of innovations and our activations and our non-airtime spots, as well as delivering better product to improve the yields. And we are hopeful that in the coming quarters, we should be able to start taking some yield improvements as well.
Sure. Okay. And I wanted to check that is there any update that we have on the revenue share that we were supposed to receive from Google?
The matter is under CCI jurisdiction. They are working on it. They have not heard anything as of now.
Okay. But any number that you can mention as to what would be that kind of contribution?
Not be prudent to prejudge CCI decision outcome.
All right. Okay. And can you give any numbers on the digital paid subscribers?
We are doing certain experiments, but as if you remember, we requested and you all kindly consented that we will not disclose the digital number for few quarters more, so that we are able to come back and do some work on that.
Okay, but on the qualitative side, can you mention about how the traction is? Is it as per your expectations, better than expectations?
Sorry, on what?
No specific number, but can you just give some sort of outlook as to is it been better than expectations, as per expectations, or how has it been panning out so far? Or how has
it's a mixed basket.
Okay. Like how have people been reacting to the fact that you are that it's going to be more of paid? I mean, you've made changes, right? A lot of content is not available for free as much as it was in the
As I mentioned to you, it's a mixed basket.
Okay.
It will be too premature to comment on that.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Rishikesh Oza from RoboCapital. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. So my question is with respect to the radio. So what is the listenership number for the radio channel for the quarter? And also wanted to get some broad idea on how the listenership number is actually calculated.
So as you're aware that in our markets, the listenership activity which used to be done earlier has not been conducted. So our metric in our markets is the response that we deliver to our advertisers. We measure that very diligently. We ask advertisers to check the number of people who walk in and how many of them remember the ad or remember the radio station. And that's from the day one for the last 15-16 years, that's been the metric that we've been using with our advertisers, which is more authenticated and not depending on any listenership data, which is third party.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraints, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to the management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, everyone, for your participation and time on this earnings call today. I hope we have responded to your queries, and we will always be happy to be of assistance to our Investor Relations Department headed by Mr. Prasun Kumar Pandey for all your further queries. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you. On behalf of DB Corp Limited, that concludes this conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.